What if this wasn't just another Draymond Green moment, but the point where years of tension finally caught up to him? This video breaks down the latest heated argument between Draymond Green and Steve Kerr, including two separate 2025 incidents. One where Draymond was ejected against the Suns after pushing Colin Gillespie, and another against the Magic where he argued with Kerr and walked out of the huddle. Because in both games, what happened after Draymond left the floor completely changed the conversation. What actually set this argument off? The sequence started with a mistake. Draymond Green committed a turnover, then immediately turned his focus toward the referees. He went back and forth with them, visibly frustrated, and that emotion began to spread. Teammates looked distracted. The Warriors' focus slipped for several possessions in a row. Steve Kerr noticed it immediately. He called a timeout, not because of the scoreboard, but because he felt the team was losing control mentally. In the huddle, cameras caught Kerr raising his voice at Draymond, trying to snap the group back into the moment. Draymond shouted right back. The exchange escalated quickly. Teammates stood nearby as the argument continued, unsure how to step in. This wasn't competitive talk. This was confrontation. Then came the moment no one expected. Draymond stood up, walked away from the huddle, and headed straight to the locker room, signaling he was done for the night. Golden State stayed on the floor, and what happened next changed everything. How did the Warriors respond without him? The immediate assumption was that Golden State would struggle. Draymond has long been the emotional engine of the team, the loudest voice, the defensive organizer, the player who pulls teammates into the fight. Instead, the opposite happened. The Warriors slowed the game down. The ball moved with purpose. Possessions became cleaner and more deliberate. Players communicated calmly instead of reacting emotionally. Defensively, the group stayed connected. Offensively, they trusted the pass. Golden State went on a big run, and they won the game. For a team that has leaned on Draymond's intensity for years, that response raised serious questions across the league. Was that result a coincidence or the start of a pattern? Earlier in 2025, the Warriors faced the Phoenix Suns in a game that initially felt routine. But midway through the action, frustration boiled over again. Draymond pushed Colin Gillespie. Officials immediately reviewed the play and ruled it an ejection. Once again, Golden State lost one of its leaders, and once again, the expectation was collapse. Instead, the Warriors responded with control. The pace slowed, shot selection improved, defensive rotations tightened. There was no arguing, no chaos. Golden State closed the game strong, and they won. 2 different games, 2 different exits, same response. That's when the conversation shifted from reaction to reflection. Why did this moment feel even more serious? The Suns incident could be dismissed as physical frustration. The Magic game could not. Against the Orlando Magic, cameras caught another heated exchange between Draymond and Steve Kerr on the sideline. The tension was visible from the opening minutes. When the timeout came, players leaned into the huddle. Draymond didn't. He turned and walked away. Golden State stayed together, and just like the previous game, without Draymond on the floor, the Warriors played cleaner basketball and won. At that point, it no longer felt random. How far back does this really go? To understand why 2025 feels different, the timeline matters. In 2016, during the Western Conference Finals, Draymond kicked Steven Adams in the groin during live play. The incident dominated headlines and placed a spotlight on Draymond's emotional edge. That same postseason, during the NBA Finals, Draymond got into an altercation with LeBron James. The league upgraded the situation, resulting in a suspension. Golden State lost the game he missed. Momentum shifted. A championship slipped away. What happens when intensity turns on teammates? In 2018, late in a game against the Clippers, the Warriors had a chance to close. Draymond brought the ball up the floor while Kevin Durant was calling for it. Instead of passing, Draymond kept the ball. He turned it over. On the bench, cameras caught the argument instantly. Draymond told Durant he could leave, saying the Warriors had already won without him before. Golden State still won the game, but the relationship never recovered. Years later, during a practice, Draymond punched Jordan Poole in the face. The incident shattered trust. Chemistry collapsed. The tension lingered the entire season. The Warriors never fully recovered that unity. Why has patience finally worn thin? Draymond was suspended after putting Rudy Gobert in a chokehold during an on-court altercation. Not long after, he swung at Jusuf Nurkic, resulting in more discipline. Each incident added weight. Each moment shortened the leash. The Warriors are no longer a dynasty with unlimited margin for error, and the night Draymond walked out may have proven it. This team is older now. The margin for chaos is smaller. What once could be absorbed during a long playoff run now shows up immediately in close games and critical moments. An aging roster relies on structure. It relies on spacing. It relies on focus and execution. There's less room for emotional swings, extended arguments, or moments where attention drifts away from the game plan. Every possession carries more weight than it did during the height of the dynasty years. That's why what happened in those 2025 games mattered so much. When Draymond left the floor, the Warriors didn't just survive, they stabilized. The game slowed down, decisions became cleaner, communication stayed calm, and they won. For a team trying to squeeze everything it has left out of this era, that response forces uncomfortable conversations because it suggests the margin for error isn't just smaller anymore, it's gone. If the Warriors ever did move on, who would actually want Draymond Green? For all the controversy, Draymond Green still provides something few players in the league can: defense, playmaking, and playoff experience. One team that could realistically benefit from that skill set is the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas has built its identity around offensive creation, but it has consistently searched for defensive toughness and vocal leadership next to its stars. Draymond wouldn't be asked to score. He wouldn't be asked to carry the offense. He would be asked to organize the defense, quarterback rotations, and bring structure to high-pressure moments. In a new environment, with a clearly defined role and a shorter leash, Draymond's intensity could become an asset again instead of a distraction. That's the key difference. Some teams can't absorb chaos. Others can redirect it. And if the Warriors ever decide that this era has run its course, Dallas stands out as one of the few places where Draymond Green's strengths could still translate into winning basketball. The crossroads. Draymond Green helped build 4 championships. That history is permanent. But basketball is about timing. 2 games, 2 exits, 2 wins. This wasn't just another argument. It was a signal.